Hey, welcome back guys. I'm Down with Doug. Thanks again for joining me. Today we're starting a new series called Yoga Decoded, where I take the most popular phrases, cues, and words that I heard in a yoga class that maybe you have no idea what they mean. And I'm going to be honest with you, I'll level with you. Sometimes I don't know what they mean when I hear teachers saying them. So this is a great place to find out what exactly do we mean in that class. Join me back, we'll be going through the first episode of Yoga Decoded. So for this first episode, we are going to be looking at just the head. There's too many cues to do the whole body, so I thought I'd subcategorize it in this way, starting at the top, working our way down. So, number one, the crown of the head. Sometimes you'll hear teachers say, extend the crown of your head forward. When we say the crown of the head, we just mean the top of your head. Sometimes I cue this in something like extended side angle, and I'll see the students start to look towards me. What we're looking at is just this elongation. It's very subtle movement, but basically in yoga we're often looking for things to pull in two different directions, and the subtlety of extending your head up, even as I'm sitting here, if I extend my head up, the rest of the body seems to follow. So if we root down as we extend the crown of the head up, we get that lovely pulling sensation, pulling ourselves in two different directions, which in essence is stretching and us exploring the full range of our movement and the space that we take up. So crown of the head, just the top, and when we extend it, we literally lift ourselves up as if there was a hook in the top of our head, which is a horrible sounding description, and we've been pulled up by that point. Number two, the third eye. Now in yoga classes, you'll be requested to look at, focus on, or even bring your thumbs to your third eye, and you might be thinking, last I checked, only had two eyes. Well, you are correct, but there's two answers to this question of what is or where is the third eye. One is more of a mystical, energetic sense, and the other is more of a biological sense. If we look at the mystical and energetic sense, the idea is that this is your Ajna chakra, the chakra of enlightenment, where we see our connectedness to the whole universe. That by looking in, we can see the real truth that it may be different to the visual truth that we see all around us. Now, keep in mind that this is something that's been passed on from many cultures around the world, including the ancient Egyptians who had Horus, the all-seeing eye, and something you might still see if you're into conspiracy theories and the Illuminati, this idea of illumination, of seeing things as they truly are. This chakra is really the idea is that we can see and find ourselves in this enlightenment if we can stop seeing ourselves as just this physical being. So that's the energetic sense. And it does have some weight when we start to think about things in a biological sense, in that the wavelengths that we can see are quite limited. Our eyes can only see a range, say this big, where the range of scope of wavelengths is much bigger. Now don't quote me on those proportions. I'll put something up here to let you know exactly what that is. But there is some truth in the fact that there are things happening around us all the time that we might not necessarily be able to see. Doesn't mean they're not happening. You know, the absence of us being able to see them doesn't mean that they do not exist. Absence of evidence is an evidence of absence. That's what I was trying to get to. Also, keep in mind that that pineal gland exists in the brain in a very similar place to where the energetic sense people like to think of the third eye. So that pineal gland, if you think of a pine cone where it gets its name, is very similar to the shape of an eye. So the idea that the third eye can also relate to this pineal gland. And the main function of this gland is to release melatonin, which give us our circadian rhythm. Circadian rhythms? Circadian. Turns out it was circadian. Circadian rhythms. Why does that word forsake me? Yeah, got it. All right. They give us our circadian rhythms, which promote all sorts of things in our lifestyle, but mainly our sleep and if things are balanced in our life. So this idea that the third eye, either if you believe in this pineal gland, which you should because it exists, or you believe in this energetic sense, it does have some bearing on your life. So we take time, we look towards that thing. So where is it? Well, for both senses, it's between the eyebrows, in the forehead, and as we open up the third eye, it kind of engrosses the entire forehead, and that's where we think. So if a teacher's asking you to look towards your third eye with the eyes closed, you kind of focus your attention inward and upward. And if you bring your thumbs to your third eye, you bring it just there between the eyebrows. Okay, hope that does answer your question in a very long and convoluted way. Apologies about that, and I will remember circadian rhythms. Number three, your Drishti point. Now, this is something that comes up a lot in class. And actually in psychology, if you listen to John Peterson, he talks about it quite a lot too, in a different kind of way. It has levels, you know, it's like a cake or like an onion. It has layers. You can think about it in the very physical sense, your drishti point, your focal point, where you look. So in Warrior 2, for instance, your arm out is in front of you. You look towards your ring finger of the front hand. That's your drishti point. That's your focal point. Where we look, it really dictates where we go. The head is very heavy, so looking left or right can change the weight distribution of the body. It also lets us know where our body should be turning. So if you're in a twist, maybe we're starting to look to the way we go. If you're in any sort of open posture where you're going for extended side angle, you're looking up and underneath your hand, or maybe towards the hand that's over the top. These all have a bearing on what happens to the rest of your body. So the drishti point is very important. In down dog, we're looking back at our own navel. There'll be a knock-on effect on the spine and the whole structure of the body. So the eyes, even though they're so small, are very, how can I say, influential on how the rest of the body reacts. The same can be said metaphorically. Our drishti point, our focal point in life, will dictate where we're going. Where are we aiming? And for so many of us, if we don't take the time out to actually plan and think about where is our life aiming, we may get up there mindlessly and find ourselves in a place where we don't necessarily want to be. So this drishti point is very important, and when we talk about it in class, practically we're talking about your focal point, but more metaphorically we're talking about where is your focus in life. All right. We also want to have a very soft focus. So when we say drishti, we're not asking you to narrow your eyes and really focus on something. We're just asking you to set your gaze upon that thing so you can focus a little bit better. So in forward fold, maybe you're looking towards your toes, but you're not squinting at them, not trying to really take it in. You're just looking at where it is you want to go. By doing that, we set an intention and we go towards that intention, whether it's in our life or in our pose. Number 4, as we move our way down, the Ujjayi breath. So Ujjayi breath just means victorious breath, and it's a way of heating up the body with just the use of the breath and the constriction of that. So quite often in a class, we'll ask someone to come into their victorious breath or their Ujjayi breath. And a lot of people struggle with this, and we don't really have the time in class to always teach it as we should, but we have to move on. So just to know what that is, if you breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth, making an HA sound, like you're fogging up a mirror of any description, then that exhale, that forced exhale out, HA sound, is what we're doing, but with the mouth closed. So when I breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, I'm constricting the back of my throat slightly so that less air can get through. I'm increasing the pressure of the air coming through, and it makes a sound kind of like snoring, but not exactly the same. It's just a more audible sound to your breath. It has a couple of functions. One, notwithstanding, being the fact that it heats you up very quickly in your body, which is great if you're looking to get this prana, this life force, this energy, or you just want to heat up your body to get deeper into your practice. If you just believe in the biological sense, it can be very useful. The sound can also be quite meditative. I'm having to struggle with the words today, as the sound is almost like an ocean as the waves come in and out. And again, that gives you a nice focal point to focus on during the class. Is that breath okay? And if you can hear it, it's much easier to keep tabs on whether the breath is starting to get labored, or if we're starting to breathe through our mouth, or it's going too fast. So there you have it, the first 4 terms of yoga decoded. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you smash like, subscribe, and make sure you comment below if there's any other terms that I've missed out that you want to hear about. I'll do my best to cover that. Actually, no, I won't do my best. I will bloody well do it. I'll give you what you want. So do put it in the comment section below. Until next time, I'm Down with Doug. You've been awesome. We'll see you soon.